With the ability to configure and customize so much on the upcoming 2020 Corvette, a lot of folks, including myself, are having trouble figuring out what exact spec to order. Hey everyone, welcome back to Daily Downshift. I'm your host Nestor, and today we're going to be going over some of my favorite specs for the Corvette C8 and talk about why I think these are objectively the best specs you can get. Of course, this is entirely just an opinion piece, but I think this theory of mine will really hold true moving forward. Now, before we get into the exact builds, I do want to mention that if you're thinking about possibly upgrading to either a Z06 or a ZR1 version of the C8, then minimizing options for the Stingray is really your best bet. But if you're going to stay in the car for 5+ years, then it's fine to really just load this car up to the brim with options and features. If that sounds like you, then a lot of this info may simply not apply to you whatsoever. But if you're more like me and you find joy in driving a wide range of cars and maybe plan on upgrading in the near future, then this guide is really just right up your alley. First and foremost, I must mention that the reason why we're trying to get the car to as close to sticker as possible, other than the obvious savings, is the lower depreciation that the car will face in the early years shortly after purchase, precisely when someone looking to upgrade to a Z06 may decide to sell the vehicle. This is important because it means you'll not only be spending less money to buy a Corvette C8, but also losing far less money based on depreciation of the vehicle. It's widely known that for the most part, cars closer to MSRP lose less depreciation compared to a fully loaded equivalent. This effect will be magnified tremendously in my opinion because of the extremely high demand, while the supply of the vehicle remains the same as previous years and generations. As an example, Canada is only getting 2,000 Corvette C8s for the 2020 model year, while there are easily over 5,000 deposits at Chevrolet dealerships across the nation, just based on what I'm hearing from various dealerships. This means that buying a Corvette C8 at as close to base as possible and selling it, 1 or 2 years later at only a few percentage lower is a real possibility. That's generally a very rare occurrence in the car industry, as their values tend to sink like rocks. Alrighty, so with that out of the way, let's jump into the configurator and show you all what I think is important and what you can completely skip out on. Of course, don't look at my color preferences, as you guys can choose whatever you'd like. We'll mainly be focusing on getting the best features, which offers good value for the vehicle. First up, the performance exhaust, which will run you only $11.95. This is a very small price to pay for an exhaust that sounds much better than the stock version and features an option to open and close the valves. In addition to the raw sound of the exhaust, you're also getting a little bump in performance, specifically 5 extra horsepower and a slightly quicker 0 to 60 time. This takes the horsepower to a grand total of 495, and it's oh so close to that magical 500 number. And it also takes you from 3 seconds to 2.9 in terms of the 0 to 60 time. These are incredible numbers, and all of this for only $59,995 plus an exhaust that's basically $1,200. This option right here is seriously a no-brainer, and I think everyone needs to get it. Now, of course, this does come standard in the Z51 package, but that does cost $5,000, and I think overall that package is only going to be worth it if you're going to track the car more than once in a blue moon. I made a video specifically talking about whether or not this specific package is worth it, so if you'd like to see that video right now, you can do so by clicking in the top right corner of the screen right now. So far, we have the base vehicle and the performance exhaust. It sounds great and has the performance to match the sound, but what about the looks of the vehicle? If you're someone that loves the way the car looks without any spoiler, then you really don't need to add one because it does look pretty great without it. But if you're looking for something a little bit more mean, a little bit more aggressive and modified looking, then the high wing spoiler is your new best friend. I'm personally a really big fan of how the spoiler looks, and I think it suits the car perfectly. We haven't seen any out in the wild just yet, but if they look anything like they do in the configurator, then in my opinion, they're well worth the $11.50. So now we have the sound, the performance, and for the most part, the looks of an exotic car, and getting it to as close to an exotic car is my personal goal with this configuration. There's only one thing missing, and in my opinion, that's the rims. I really dislike the stock rims, and the carbon flash version of them look just as bad in my opinion. The best option we have here is the black Trident spoke wheels, which look absolutely fantastic. They cost a hefty $26.95, but for premium rims, that cost is honestly pretty normal and just about average. This is great because you can use the standard rims for track use or during the winter if you live in a colder city with snow, and then put on the black Trident spokes during summer and spring, which is really awesome, and it gives you a bit of flexibility with the vehicle. Now that we have the base vehicle, the performance exhaust, a high wing spoiler if you're into that kind of thing, and the upgraded wheels, all we're really looking at now, in my opinion, is just color of the vehicle, the seat color, the seatbelt color, and last but not least, the caliper color. And all of that stuff is really up to you guys, but what I would definitely not recommend is getting the 2LT or the 3LT package. Do they come with a ton of awesome features? Yes, there's no question about that. The 2LT is great and has tons of technology inside the vehicle, and you can of course get the front lift system as an added bonus if you get the 2LT package. Of course, that is optional. So there's a lot of features in it and a lot of technology, but my goodness, does it definitely really rack up the price of the vehicle. In my opinion, I don't think it's worth it, simply because you are really raising the car to another level if you get that package. It starts creeping into the 70s and 80s once you start stacking up too many options and trim levels, and so I personally would steer clear of it. But again, if you're somebody that's going to be, driving this car for 5+ years and really taking care of it and, not upgrading anytime soon, then go all out for the fully loaded version. But here is the caveat. What I would say is that if you are looking to get a higher trim level, then going for the 3LT package makes more sense. The 2LT package is about a $7,500 upgrade from the 1LT package, but the 3LT package from the 2LT package is only about a $3,900 increase. In my opinion, the value really lies at getting 3LT. If I were personally to get a vehicle, it would be 1LT or 3LT and nothing in the middle. I'd either go all out with making the car luxurious and have tons of features, or I wouldn't even bother and stay close to the sticker price. The 3LT package has all of the really cool technology that the 2LT package has, while also having upgraded interior. If you just look at some of the photos that are out online, this interior of the 3LT seriously looks like it's out of a Ferrari. I'm not even kidding. I'm a massive fan of European exotic cars, and this interior is some of the best that I've ever seen. So if you're going to be spending the extra money on a higher trim level, I definitely would recommend 3LT because it does seem like a bargain compared to the price increase of the 2LT package. Again, you're getting all of the great stuff that is in 2LT, but of course the leather quality interior just looks so luxurious, and it's something I really did not expect out of Corvette, so big props to them. But that is going to do it for the video, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw here today, definitely drop a like as it supports our channel, and consider subscribing if you're into Corvette C8 content. We're coming out with at least 2 or 3 videos a week on the Corvette C8, and we're actually going to be going up to Corvette Fun Fest in Illinois, so we're going to have tons of coverage of the Corvette C8s that are going to be there, and it's going to be a really awesome time. So definitely consider subscribing, and thank you all so much once again for watching today's video. That's it from us, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.